welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, then welcome. Alright, so today's video is gonna be all about henna. So if you want to learn more about henna, then keep listening. Okay, so henna is actually an Indian herb which is also known as Mehendi. It has been used for over 100 years by ancient kings and queens to do body art and to color their hair. It's a natural dye because it's herbal, so it produces a lot of health benefits to your hair and to your body. Okay, so a few of these health benefits or these benefits of using henna to your hair is that number one, it strengthens your hair. And how it does that is that when you apply henna to your hair, it coats your strands and it forms this really thick layer over your hair, and it has a component which is responsible for the dyeing of your hair or the coloring of your hair, which is known as Lawson dye, which is somewhere between like 2 to 5% of the actual henna plant. And what it does is that it attaches to the keratin bonds in your hair, and it seals in the cuticles, the missing gaps and pieces that are damaged in your cuticle. That's the outer layer of each strand. It seals it in, so it helps to prevent breakage, and it thickens your hair and it makes it stronger over time. It repairs the damaged hair strands, and it restores the acid alkaline balance in your hair. It applying henna twice a month, that's like every other week or however you want to do it, it makes your hair glossier, healthier, and more voluptuous over time. It's a good conditioner for your hair because it does have some softening qualities to it. Okay, so some general tips to use if you want to use henna is that if your hair is damaged by chemical processes or coloring, then you might want to wait at least 45 to 60 days before using henna, because it won't stick to your hair as well, and which means it won't give you as good a result as you would probably like. Henna prevents your hair from being brittle, and it prevents split ends, and it prevents breakage and shedding. Avoid henna if you have severe scalp infections or extremely dry hair. It is important to select henna from a good brand. Alright, a good brand of henna would be like body art quality, because the body art quality henna has the higher percentage of the Lawson dye, so it actually dyes your hair better, and the stronger the dyeing, it's the better conditioning effect that you will get as well, because both kind of go hand in hand. So the more Lawson, the more dyed your hair will be, and the more conditioned your hair will be. It's best to soak your henna, because before you use henna you have to soak it for at least an hour so it can oxidize and develop. All the chemical reactions can take place, and everything can just happen all on your hair. So it's best to soak henna in something that contains iron, because it helps in the oxidation process. And then now I'm going to give you a few pros and cons of using henna. Okay, so for the pros of using henna, of course, number one is that it is healthier because it contains no ammonia, no harsh chemicals, no toxins. It's a natural derivative from the earth, so it's a plant actually. So you don't have to worry about your hair being damaged from using henna, so that is the number one plus. It treats scalp problems, so if you have dandruff or any other scalp problem, eczema or whatever, it will treat it after continuous use. It makes your hair strands thicker, so if you are somebody that struggles with fine weak hair, then using henna over time will help your strands to be thicker and more stronger. And it is permanent, so this can actually be like a pro or a con depending on your preference, because when you dye your hair with henna, or when you put henna on your hair, it doesn't always have to, it does tint your hair whenever you use it, but it depends. If you really want to dye your hair with henna, then you're gonna have to leave it on your hair for a lot longer than if you're just treating your hair like for strength and, you know, just a regular henna treatment. Then you're gonna leave it on for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, so it's not going to be as dark as if you left it on for, let's say, a couple of hours or even overnight. So that's a pro or a con depending on your preference. Like I said, the results of henna, it's kind of unpredictable because when you use it, it kind of gives you anywhere between like a coppery tint to your hair. It can even give you like some highlights in some places, so it might be like different things. So maybe if you like playing around with your hair in terms of color and you don't mind, you know, having a few streaks in your hair or having some parts a bit lighter, then, you know, this could be a pro for you. Of course, I don't mind, you know, because I don't color my hair anyway, so this is as close as I'll get to having some streaks, so I really don't mind using it and getting a few copper streaks in my hair. But if you do not like if you get like a very bright copperish color or some copperish streaks that you don't really like, don't worry. After a few days, the henna oxidizes a little bit more and it does darken down some, so it doesn't actually stay as bright the first like maybe day or two that you use it. After, you know, I said a few days, it will tone down. And then you can also get a brownish, like a dark brownish tone, maybe like this behind me. So you can get anywhere between copper and a dark brown effect on your hair. Another pro or, well, I would say this would be a con, is that, all right, a con is that you have to sometimes follow up with some type of deep conditioner or some, whether it's a hot oil treatment or an actual deep conditioning treatment, because henna, it tends to make your hair a little dry sometimes because it is like strengthening and it does contain some bit of protein, so it does make your hair feel kind of dry like the very instant you use it. So you might want to have to follow up with some deep conditioner. The other con is that if you're natural, it loosens your curl pattern. So if you have like very tight curls, your curls will tend to like drop a little bit when you use henna, which could also be a pro because most naturals kind of struggle with shrinkage, and of course if your curls are looser, then they will hang a bit more, so it will not be as shrunken up as if you were not using henna. So if you really like your curl pattern and you don't want it altered a bit, then you might want to consider that, but it's not gonna be anything drastic. It's not gonna make your hair straight or anything. It's just gonna drop a little bit. Another con is that using henna is very, very, very time consuming, because especially if you're going to dye your hair, first off, when you mix the henna, you have to let it sit for, like, the longer you leave it, the better results you'll get. So you can leave it for up to like 8 hours. You can leave it overnight and then use it the following day. You can make it an hour before, at least an hour before you're gonna use it, and let it sit. So you have to count that time that it takes to sit and wait for it. And then when you actually apply it to your hair, that takes a bit of time because you have to go through like section by section to make sure that each strand is fully coated, so you don't get some parts of your hair looking different from the rest, because it does dye your hair. It is messy. It's very messy because henna stains. So if you're gonna henna your hair, you're not gonna want to have on a shirt that you really like, because if it gets on it, it's gonna stain your shirt. So you're not gonna have that shirt to wear out. If it was an outing shirt, like, it's gonna be a yard shirt now, because it's gonna be stained, it's gonna be ruined. So you're gonna want to get like an old t-shirt to put on. If you're doing it in your bathroom, you're gonna need to have to lay down some old newspapers on the floor on your face basin, because it will stain that as well. The bowl that you're gonna use to mix it, as soon as you get done putting it in your hair, you're gonna need to rinse it out with some hot water instantly, or it will stain it as well. It stains your fingernails. So a number one tip is always use gloves, or if you're not going to use gloves, make sure to at least have a clear coating of nail polish on your fingernails, because your fingernails are porous, so it will like suck up all the Lawson dye and it will stain your fingernails. It will look really tacky, so it stains. Another con is that it kind of has this herbal grass like natural smell. So if you're not a fan of that earthy type of, you know, fragrance coming from your hair, then you might not like that. But don't worry, it goes away in a couple of days. So yeah, the moment you use it, it's gonna have your hair smelling some type of way. But there are ways to get around it. Like you can use rinses, so you can use like a fragrant tea rinse over your hair to rinse it after you've already rinsed all the henna out. You can use a fragrant tea rinse, or you can use water with some essential oils like lavender, rosemary, or something like that that has a nice smell. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it all. I am going to be hennaing my hair on Sunday, I believe, Saturday or Sunday. So if I do it on Saturday, I'm gonna record it. If I do it on Sunday, I'm gonna record it. So just look out for that video of how I actually henna my hair. This is the brand of henna that I use. It's dusty. A good quality henna is gonna be like green in color. Well, that's not green, but it's gonna be like it's grass. It's from, not grass, but remember it's a leaf in like its natural state. It's a leaf that is ground up into a powder. So expect it to be like a dried up leaf like color. It's gonna be a faded green. Yeah, do not buy a henna that says that is like light green in color or really brown in color, because more than likely those have added substances to them which might be damaging to your hair. So natural henna is like a very faded green. In my video you will actually see the henna, so you'll get to know what it looks like. Do not buy henna that says it will make your hair really dark, or that it will make your hair blonde, or any other abnormal type of color. Henna naturally gives you like a brownish copperish color. Like it doesn't give you any other type of color. So if it says that it does those things, more than likely it has chemicals added to it, and you will get some very odd results, very unpredictable. I know people who have done this and they've gotten like their hair was like green or purple, like bright green and bright purple. So you want to stay away from those. Just use regular natural henna. And if you want your hair to be like darker, like a dark blackish color, what you can do is you can mix your henna with amla powder. When you mix your henna with amla powder, it kind of does make your hair a little bit darker than if you use just the henna by itself. And also you can use indigo, which is another natural dye, Indian dye, that it has a bluish, a dark bluish black color naturally. So when you mix the two together, then it really gives your hair a darker color. So yeah, look out for my henna video, and I hope y'all will try this process out because it does have a lot of benefits. It definitely makes your hair stronger, which will help you to retain length, make your hair healthier, thicker. I mean, who doesn't want healthier and thicker hair, right? So give it a try, guys. Let me know what your results were like. Let me know. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would love if you subscribe. If you haven't already, share this video with a friend. And yeah, just look out for my video on Sunday. Bye, guys.